Sandy Miodo-Gugis, and welcome to the Manifesting Collective, courtesy of Profound Way Coaching. How do we do it? So I'm going to give you 3 tips today. Tip number 1 is to do it in the present tense. I am this, or I am becoming this. My dad used to have a little card on his desk that said, my memory improves daily. That's a really good way to do it as well, because it's my memory. But if it's something that can't happen instantaneously, then to put that ing on there to make it a gerund type of verb is perfectly acceptable. I am becoming this. And I'll give you an example. I got to teach meditation to some breast cancer patients a few years ago in a hospital in Riverside, California. And this is perfect because I'm a breast cancer survivor and a meditation teacher. So I said, yes, I would love to do this for you. And I walk in, and immediately one of the patients says to me, I can't meditate. Now, we know, if you've been with me so far, that this negative self-talk rewires the brain and makes us more negative. So negative self-talk is not a good thing. So I took a breath and I looked at her and I said, are you open to me reframing that for you? And she took a breath and thought about it. And she goes, kind of tentatively, yeah, I suppose so. Yeah. And I said, instead of telling yourself, I can't meditate, how about this instead? Acknowledge where you are. I've had some difficulty meditating in the past, but I'm open to a new experience today. Can you say that? And she thought for a moment and she smiled and she says, yeah, I can do that. And guess what? She learned to meditate that evening. So it was wonderful. So I am open to this is also very helpful. But present tense, I'm open to it now. Not I'm going to, because that's too nebulous. We have to tell our subconscious mind what the date is that we need it by. And we have to tell the universe what is the date we want it by. So if you're going to say, I'm going to get that promotion, when is that promotion coming up? Next week, next Tuesday. Okay, great. But it has to be something like that. And the best way to do it is it's happening now. I am being promoted at work. That's a more powerful statement. And our subconscious mind loves powerful statements. It's much more responsive to those. So that's a good way to do it. Present tense. Tip number 2, this may be a little different than what you've heard before. We're traditionally told to do I statements. I am this. Well, that's 1/3 of what you hear in your life. You hear your own negative self-talk, which tells you the opposite of what you're trying to manifest in many cases. But you also have people talking to you and telling you something that's negative. And you have people talking about you that you overhear or you're aware of on some level. So we need to rewire all 3 of those. And we do that by using 3 different ways of talking to ourselves. So here's an example that I could use for myself. I, Sandy, am a successful businesswoman. You, Sandy, are a successful businesswoman. She, Sandy, she's a successful businesswoman. So these are the sort of things that counteract all the negative stuff we have coming in. We tell it to ourselves, other people say it to us, and we hear it about ourselves. So we're going to use I, you, and she or he or they on the other side of that. And that makes our manifestation much more powerful and rich. And then the 3rd tip is to make it something that you actually believe. Now, this can be tricky. If I didn't believe that I am a successful businesswoman, it would be hard for me to say that. So I might say instead, I am becoming a successful businesswoman. I have the potential to become a successful businesswoman, but then when? Because that's a little weaker, right? But I am becoming is good if I can't say I am. Or maybe I can say something like this. I study business so I get better at it. My business acumen improves daily. And again, we're going to do it all 3 ways. I, Sandy, study business, so I get better at it. You, Sandy, you study business, so you get better at it. She, Sandy, she studies business, so she gets better at it. So that's the way. And then, of course, study business, right? And I actually do. Because it's not what I studied in college, so I am making up for lost time. So that's another way that we can make it so that it's believable to us. If you want to lose weight, like so many people do, it's hard to say, well, I am thin. I see, I'm thin. Maybe I see myself thin, but maybe something more practical, like I'm learning to enjoy eating salad. I love my body and I fuel it with healthy foods. Things like that. Learning to love your body, by the way, is one of the first key steps to losing weight or releasing weight. Once you learn to love yourself as you are, it's a lot easier to shift anything. So that's another bonus tip, I guess. So, yeah. So we want to do it in the present tense. We want to address ourselves as I, you, and they. And we want to make it something that we can believe and that we can wrap our heads around. So those are my affirmation writing tips for today. Once you write them, of course, it's helpful to review them. You can read them aloud. You can read them silently. You can write them out again, whatever you think is best for you. But make them with those 3 tips and you'll have much greater success. Thank you for joining me today. I really appreciate your time.